Hey guys, it's Jill. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. Today's video, I hope that you guys really enjoy. I have 4 absolutely delicious dinner ideas, 2 crock pot, 1 on the stove, which is a 1 pot, which is amazing. We love that, don't we? And then we also have an in the oven dinner idea as well. I hope that you guys enjoy this video. If you do, make sure you go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new here, and make sure you leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you did this holiday season. Was it good for you? Was it not? I know the holidays can be hard for some. This year it was very hard for me. I was going through a little something. I don't know what, but anyways, I hope that you guys did enjoy your holidays. And let's get into this video. So I already got out of my clothes and into my pajamas, girl. So I am making a crock pot dinner tonight. So this is from the website damndelicious.net. I will link the recipe down below. But this is called Slow Cooker Creamy Garlic Chicken and Veggies. And the first thing says you need 6 bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs. As you can see, I don't have chicken thighs. I have chicken drumstick. Oh, great. Hold on. This is leaking. Disgusting. What do we need to do first? Because I know that we have to melt butter in large skillet over medium. So we're going to do that. So basically what we're doing is, this is about it's a little less than 2 tablespoons, but whatever, it's fine. But so we can sear the chicken. Now I did this with another crock pot recipe before, because normally I'm not a big like sear person. Usually I'm just like, girl, just dump it in the crock pot and just don't even worry about it. But that time that I actually took the time to sear the chicken, it gave it so much flavor. So I definitely think that this is something that is recommended, or something that if you have the time, try not to skip it. So all we're gonna do is take 2 pounds of baby red potatoes and chop them up, put them on the bottom of your crock pot. And then I also have 2 shallots chopped, which are going down in there as well. So this also calls for 3 cloves of garlic, minced. I'm just gonna grab some of this from the jar, throw it down in there. And then it also calls for 1 teaspoon of dried thyme. So I'm just gonna go ahead, put that down. We're going to also season with salt and pepper. And you also wanted to season your chicken with paprika and salt, which I did as well. And then you want to take 1/4 cup of chicken stock or chicken broth, put that down in there, 1/4 cup of dry white wine. And they always say, if you're going to cook with wine, cook with whatever you would prefer to drink. I don't drink. I especially wouldn't drink wine if I did drink, but this is what I have. So I just put 1/4 cup of that in there, and then we're gonna add the chicken in an even layer. Like I said, this has just been seared in a little bit of butter. And then once you're done with this, you just pop the top, or pop the lid on it, let it cook. So low for 5 hours. Start. So we're gonna add broccoli to this later, and then we're also gonna make us a creamy lemon sauce. So we'll make that when this is done in 5 hours. So last 30 minutes of it cooking, it's actually on 40 minutes. It's on 40 minutes right now. you want to add in 3 cups of broccoli florets. So I have these right here. So you're just going to throw the broccoli on top. Chicken is already cooked through, by the way. But we have 30 minutes until this is done. And then after that, we're going to make us a sauce using some heavy cream and some cornstarch. But for now, like I said, you just want to cook this broccoli for the remainder of the 30 minutes. So let's put the top back on and let her cook. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take a lemon, and the recipe says 1.5 tablespoons, I believe. Yes, 1.5 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice. So we're going to put that down into a bowl, squeeze it out. Then to that, we're going to add in 1/2 cup of heavy cream. So 1/2 cup. And then we're also going to add 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, and we're just going to mix this all together. So whiskey, whiskey. Just like so. Okay, so it has been 40 minutes. The broccoli is cooked. What you want to do is go ahead and take out your potatoes, your chicken, and your broccoli, because we're going to make us a cream sauce to go over our chicken. Now you want to take your heavy cream, cornstarch, and lemon mixture, put that in there, whisk it together, and we're going to turn this on high and let it go for 15 minutes. I'm just going to go ahead and put the lid on this. So here is what one of the plates is looking like. I have the cream sauce over the potatoes, which you really can't see, but there's some broccoli and some chicken. There it is in the bowl. Started on that plate, didn't finish, but just wanted to show y'all. And then here is the cream sauce. So yeah, you guys let me know if you make this. It has really good reviews. Like, it has 18 reviews and they're all 5 stars. So I figure it was probably pretty dang good. So I totally forgot to try that for you guys on camera. That was delicious. Totally making that again. So incredibly flavorful. That cream sauce is beyond delicious. 10 out of 10, recommend. I see why she's got nothing but 5 stars on that recipe, which by the way will be linked down below in the description box. Delish. Tonight we are giving our Crockpot a break, and we are making 1 pot lemon chicken and orzo. I want to say first off, that last meal that I made, y'all need to make that. It was absolutely delicious. That cream sauce was chef's kiss delicious. Like, I could not get enough. Okay, it's so good. Okay, on to this meal. You're gonna see all the ingredients. I'm gonna talk about it, and actually I'll just link it down below. You guys can pretty much see what I'm doing in this video. But this was also a really delicious meal, and it was also very quick. Comes together. I love like the idea of a 1 pot thing. It's so simple, very few dishes, all of that. Love the idea. However, this calls for a bunch of kale, like 1 whole bunch, like not a. It makes it sounds like I'm saying like a whole bunch of kale, but a bunch of kale that you buy at the grocery store, and it just did not cook enough for the kale to be soft. It was very hard, and it just wasn't my favorite. By the way, I added that garlic, and it was too no, don't add the garlic like I did. Maybe add it once you, or I think my pot was probably too hot. Anyways, it was still good, but the kale was too tough, and it was not very tasty in this. The kids were telling me like there's too much of this, like they had to keep peeling it off. So I would recommend, if you want the green, so definitely keep the green. That's what I would recommend. do spinach or something else, or if you're going to do the kale, make sure you massage it with olive oil first. That makes it less tough and less chewy. So kale's really good and I like it, but in a quick meal like this where you're not letting it sit and boil for a while, I didn't let it get tender enough and it wasn't my favorite. And it's a lot of kale, so I would definitely switch that out for spinach for sure. But this was absolutely delicious. Again, the recipe is linked down below and it came together so incredibly fast. Look at how delicious that looks. It was so good, y'all. Okay, so we're going to be doing some experimenting in the kitchen today. We are going to make my version adaptation because I don't feel like doing all of this work, and we're going to make it like dump and go, like super, put it all together, put it in a casserole dish, put it in the oven, boom, bam, done. And this you got to like mix all the stuff the shells. I don't want to do all that. Plus you got to boil them. No, girl. We're experimenting and we're just going to put this in there and see if it cooks in the oven. Now, that's how I cook my lasagna. That's how I make my lasagna. So we're going to give this a try and I'll let you know if it works. But I will link this recipe down below. I made it as the actual stuffed shells before. It's called 4 cheese and sausage stuffed shells. It's the Emily Bites blog. When I tell you this is the best, like I would eat this over lasagna any day of the week. This recipe is absolutely delicious. So whether you're gonna make it the way that I'm about to make it and kind of make my little tweaks to it, or you follow her recipe to the T, I'm doing like all of the ingredients are the same. It's just the way that I'm gonna do it. I'm not stuffing the shells. I'm not boiling the pasta, none of that stuff. So let's go over to the stove. So first what you're gonna need is some Italian sausage. I always get chicken Italian sausage from Publix and I just browned it up. That's a pound of Italian sausage. So it's chicken Italian sausage. You can use whatever your favorite Italian sausage is. And then you're gonna need a 24-ounce jar of pasta sauce and you're just going to mix that in with your sausage. So at this point, I'm thinking, do I want to go ahead and add the pasta to this mixture? I don't think I'm going to do that. Actually, I was supposed to put sauce on the bottom of my 9x13 casserole dish, but you know what? It's okay. I'm going to go ahead and actually put this over and turn this on low. So while we go and mix together our like stuffing, we can go ahead and have this, you know, warming and all that stuff. To a bowl, we're gonna create our stuffing and we are going to need 15 ounces of, the recipe calls for fat-free ricotta cheese. I can never find fat-free, so I just go with the part skim. Next, you wanna get 16-ounce container of 1% low-fat cottage cheese. Then you're gonna need 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning. You're gonna need some salt to taste. And then you're also going to need half a cup of Parmesan cheese. To this bowl, we're gonna add the cottage cheese. We're gonna now take this whole 15-ounce container of ricotta cheese and just put her down in there with the cottage cheese. Usually you can just, yeah, I was about to say, usually you can just slide it on out. Now you wanna take half a cup of your shredded Parmesan cheese, whichever one you choose to use. I just thought about it. If I had it, I would add it. But if I had spinach, I would add that into this mix right here. But I don't, so I'm just gonna obviously go with the cheeses. But spinach would be a really good addition and some added nutrition and veggies into this. Next, you wanna take your tablespoon of Italian seasoning. I'm gonna take a little bit of salt, not too much because we already know that cheese is salty, and we're just gonna mix all of this together. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of scared about this because I'm like, am I about to mess this up completely? I mean, I do lasagna like all the time, so I am gonna go ahead and add some of this sauce on the bottom. Oh, I got that all over the side of my pan. That's okay. So we're just gonna add that to the bottom. And then what I'm gonna do is add an entire box of, I did go, so we're still with the shell theme. Honestly, the only reason why I thought about this is because all of the stuffed shells were gone out of the store. So I couldn't find them, and then I couldn't even find manicotti. So I was like, well, let's just try it this way. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour this whole entire, this is a pound, 16 ounces. I'm a little nervous about this, but 16 ounces of pasta shells went down into the bottom, and I'm just going to spread them out like that. And then I'm gonna take my cheese mixture, and we're just gonna pop this over the top. So instead of stuffing our shells, we're just gonna go ahead and layer this over top our shells. So while I'm sitting here doing this, I want to tell you how this came out. It came out very dry. It was very, very tasty. So I'm definitely going to do this again. So there's either one or two things that you can do. You can, instead of adding the cheese on top of the dry pasta, add the sauce because it needed a little bit of moisture. Also, instead of doing a 24-ounce jar of pasta sauce or marinara sauce, I would do an additional maybe 8 to 16 ounces of sauce to put on the bottom because it was very dry on the bottom. So you can either do it that way and then put your cheese on top over the sauce and maybe even mix it together if you want to do that. The whole point is the noodles need to be less dry than how I'm cooking them in this scene in this clip. So it definitely needed some moisture. Other than that, the taste was fantastic. So you could either do it that way or you could boil the noodles beforehand and kind of layer it like I just did. But I would also make sure to do a little bit more sauce on the bottom. So I do think that it needs more than 24 ounces of sauce. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and spread this cheese over the pasta. Okay, and then from here, we've got that all there. We've got that all on there. We're gonna go ahead and take our sauce and sausage mixture and pour that over the top. I have the oven preheating to 350 degrees. It's actually already up to temperature. I need to turn the stove off before I forget. Now the recipe says to put this in the oven for 30 to 35 minutes. It also says to add a cup of mozzarella cheese on top. You know what? Whenever I make lasagna, I put the cheese on top. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But I am thinking that this is gonna need, since the pasta is uncooked, I'm thinking it's going to need probably 45 minutes to an hour for it to cook, but I am gonna go ahead and let it and see how it is at 35 minutes. If the cheese is getting too browned or something, I'll definitely cover it with foil. But like I said, actually, you know what? I am gonna cover this with foil because when I make my lasagna, that's exactly what I do. I cover it with foil and then I put it in the oven. So we're gonna do that. But you just want a cup of I do part skim mozzarella. Ooh, look at this. Part skim mozzarella cheese over the top. After letting that cook for a total of about 60 minutes on 350 degrees, and then leaving the foil over top of it for about 15 more minutes. Baby girl, when I tell you that that's because it has that taste, and I did not have to do much of anything. I literally just threw it together, put it in the oven. So much less work, and it is phenomenal. I ended up being able to cut this just like you would a lasagna after it cooled down. So that's what it looks like on the plate. Y'all definitely need to make this. Here's mine with a side salad. It is absolutely, absolutely delicious. Okay, so we have another dump and go crockpot meal. This one is a true literal dump and go. So you just grab all the ingredients and you just dump it in there. So first we're gonna start out with 3 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. And we're just gonna put that down into the crockpot. Now this does call for you to cook 12 strips of bacon and put it down into the mix. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna top mine with crispy bacon. So if you want the flavor of bacon to be all through this, do that. But if not, skip it and do it like I'm gonna do it. So now we're gonna take a packet of ranch dressing mix and put that down into the mix. The recipe calls for a teaspoon of garlic, but we don't follow garlic rules around here. I'm gonna go with a full tablespoon. And then we are going to take 1 cup of chicken broth and we're gonna put that down into our crock pot as well. That's literally it, y'all. Like, we're gonna have some other ingredients to add once this is done cooking, but for now, that's literally it. It literally took me like 2 minutes to do this. I'm gonna cover this, I'm gonna cook this on low for 8 hours. You can do high for 3 to 4 hours or low for 6 to 8. It has been, what was it, 6.5 hours, and I have water boiling or coming to a boil here on the stove, in which I'm going to add 16 ounces of rotini, cook that up. But here is our chicken, and I'm gonna go ahead and shred it all up. This is what our juice and everything is looking like. Before we shred it up, I did want to show you what it looks like inside the crock pot. And now I'm just going to take one of these and go to shredding the chicken, which it shreds very, very, very easily. We're going to add in 2 cups of heavy whipping cream down into the chicken mixture. And you're also going to add 2 cups of shredded cheese. I like to use the reduced fat Fiesta blend. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the cheese first. So 2 cups of that. 1, and then 2. And then 2 cups of heavy cream. I actually only have like 1 and about a cup and 1/8. 1 1/8 cups, and I think for me 2 cups is a little too much, so I think I'm gonna leave it at that. I could always go back and add more if I feel like it needs more. I think I have some half and half. I think I'm gonna do that. Here I go again, trying to be healthy, so I added this whole entire bag of spinach, and I would not add it to the crock pot like I did. Absolutely not. It didn't cook well enough. It was just, no. What I would do is put it in a strainer and then strain the hot water, the boiling water, over it and let it wilt down and kind of cook that way, and then put it in with the pasta. Because I think it was good with the spinach. My kids hated it because they don't really like spinach and the idea of it, but that's an idea too. Okay, so I forgot that I wanted to add in some spinach. This was not in the recipe, but I feel like it could have used some. So I went ahead and I added spinach in there. And then here is my pasta. And I did turn the crock pot back on just so this spinach could wilt down a little bit. I may have made a mistake. I may have maybe needed to add it prior to, because one thing about pasta in the crock pot is you do not want it to sit. I made that mistake before, and honey, it is not pretty. It turns into like a literal mush. It's disgusting. So I'm hoping I didn't just make a big mistake in adding this spinach, because obviously I want it to wilt down and cook. So I'm not going to let this cook for any longer than 15 minutes. So I will see you in 15 minutes and show you what this looks like. So this is what this beauty is looking like. Look at that beautiful color. You don't have to add the spinach, but I felt like I needed some veggies in here, so I wanted to add it, but again, you don't have to. So here it is on my plate. I just added some bacon that I put in the microwave, and then I have a side salad with some tomatoes, cucumber, avocado, homemade ranch dressing. And I'm gonna chow down. This is delicious, so I hope that you guys make this because it's really, really, really good. I'm gonna link the recipe down below in the description box. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe if you are not subscribed yet. And let me know in the comments down below, which one out of these 4 do you think you are going to make? If you were going to ask me, you need to make all 4 of them because they're all freaking delicious, and they're definitely going to be in my rotation. As far as like kid friendly, my kids loved every single one of these, with the exception of they did not like the kale in the one pot meal. They did not like the spinach in this. So if I would have left that spinach out, they would have like tore it up and been like, this is the best thing ever. They loved the pasta, with the exception of it was a little dry. And then, oh, the chicken with the cream sauce and the broccoli and potatoes. Oh, that was delicious. We will definitely be making that tons more times. So anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed. Again, all the recipes are going to be listed down below in the description box. I love you guys. Have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.